On the capital bus purchases where we're going to electric, and I know we do get some kind of grants from the federal government, is it still costing us more to produce the electric buses, even with the grants, as it would be if you just went with the traditional buses that we're using now?
So in general, the gap between a diesel bus, a hybrid bus, and an electric bus is narrowing significantly. Mostly with diesel buses just getting more expensive. So I think there's that change in the market that we're actually getting ready to go out to bid, and we'll get some firm pricing numbers on this. But so that's narrowing. There is the infrastructure side of this, but a lot of these grants have outright covered the upgrade cost. So with the R line, which is 14 buses, 20% plus of our ridership, we were able to do that project with a combination of actual Volkswagen settlement funds, low-no grant funds, and then our formula grant funds. So all we had to put up was our regular formula funds that we would have used for a bus purchase, and all those additional sources covered the gap. That's a unique circumstance, but it's made a big impact for us. But we have to be really thoughtful going forward because, again, the price differences between the different models it's very much compressing, and it's surprisingly expensive for a diesel bus now. So.
Right. So what you're saying is probably revenue neutral, because what you're saying is because you were able to get money from Volkswagen, the settlement from Volkswagen, et cetera, et cetera. The purchases of the electric buses would probably be the same amount. Factor in everything that you just said.
Yep.
It's costing you about the same amount that it would cost you to purchase the diesel buses. And what you're saying is that the electric buses, the prices are coming down.
Right.
So would it be advantageous to wait to purchase them a couple more years as they come down more, or would you afraid you were going to lose out on federal grants by waiting? Is that the thinking behind that?
I mean, the biggest challenge with the electrification is the infrastructure. It's making sure the power is available, right? That's the really expensive part of the whole thing, but it takes a lot of time to kind of plan that. We do have federal funds awarded by the previous administration to electrify everything coming out of our Newport garage. That's a similar situation where essentially all the upgrade costs would be covered. In terms of modifying our day-to-day capital program to say, hey, what are we buying? What's our permanent decision on our purchases? We're still kind of figuring that out. I'm not sure if that answers your question, but
yeah, you're still trying to find out if it's revenue positive.
Right.
You haven't narrowed that. I get it. And is there a foreseen savings in using electric buses? I mean, other than buying the diesel fuel, does it come with freelance and externalities to these buses where you have to service them more, or I don't know, you have to change the batteries every so much years, and it all comes out to be, there really is no saving, but other than the environment issue?
There is far less maintenance. There's just far less moving parts on these, and there's ancillary benefits. We're not buying oil. There's a lot of. If you walk through our garage, there's a lot of investment in those facilities to deal with fumes and chemicals and all sorts of things that we put a lot of time into compliance on. So the global picture, we've only just deployed these buses about a year ago in February, so we're still learning from this. But in terms of a day-to-day cost, they are lower than the diesel buses.
Okay. All right. I got one more question that goes back to the comprehensive financial report. There's two things that stuck out to me when I read this report. And the other one is when I look at the operations costs and the salaries are almost $6 million, $5,983,000, and the fringe benefits are $6 million and $796,000. Is the fringe benefits more than the salaries for these employees?
No,
Am I reading something wrong?
It's close. Fringe benefits are probably like 80% of salaries.
Right.
So and that includes pension, healthcare costs, dental, vision.
All right. All right. I got a lot of questions about this report. If I could get together with someone at one time, I'd like to go over this. All right. Thanks.
Absolutely.